Alright guys, welcome back to the second tutorial. I hope you had fun making your name template. I just want to point out one thing that I didn't point out in the previous tutorial, and that is that I'd like you to basically go through this nameplate interview template before you start the next tutorial on logos. So if you could break off into groups and just essentially go through these a few of these questions here and just answer them. It'll just help you to remember the different effects and what you applied. You could do it for like one or two of the different name templates that you have just created. Alright, so this tutorial is all about logos. As you know, we have Kaz, who you'll be making a logo for later on. This is a logo that I made for her clothing company. I'm also going to be making a blog for this called Kaz Clothing. So this is the logo that I've decided to create for her company. So I'm just going to go through some graphic design principles right now. So I'm just going to go through this tutorial here and presentation. Basically, I'm going to quickly just talk about, in an introduction to graphic design, basic movement, balance, unity, contrast, emphasis, line, and color. Alright, so just very quickly. So basically, graphic design elements, a building blocks for all graphics are lines, color, shape, and texture. Okay, so you'll find these in all graphic designs. So lines can be straight or curved, pointed, rounded, you name it, you can do. You can have any different shape with a line. So how are lines used in this composition or this slide? So let's have a look at this. Just having a look at the lines. Yep, they're horizontal lines. There they are there. Alright, so we've got also a curved line that goes around there. A curve that goes there. You've got lines that are created for the palm. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So color definitions. And there are a number of different ways of explaining color. Hue is one of them. Chroma is the intensity or purity of the color. Tint is the color mixture with white. And tone is the color mixed with grey. And shade is color mixed with black. So you probably would have heard of shade and tone before. You may not have heard of hue, but hue is just another word for color. Okay, so that's just a little bit of the color definition for you. Color and contrast. Color can enhance or detract from a composition. If you'd like to go to this website, it's lighthouse.org/color_contrast.htm. You can check out, there's a few different color examples in this website that you might want to stop the video and go off and have a look at. Color wheels can help determine which color are greatest in contrast. So we've got a nice color wheel here that we're going to go through in a minute. Another useful website that I've found is Cooler, cooler.adobe.com. This is fantastic. You do need the plugin for Flash Player 10 to view this website, so you might have to view this at home. So that's cooler.adobe.com. So we're going to go through the color wheel now. So you've got analogous colors which are adjacent to each other. So we've got, like, if we look at orange here, an adjacent color or an analogous color is red and yellow. We've got complementary colors which are essentially opposite to each other. So your red, your bluey green, your green, your purple, yellow, violet. It's just good to have a bit of familiarization of colour. So colour in our design, how can we use colour to help our designs? Well, colour can be used to label or show hierarchy. So if you've got a white background and you're using black text like we've got here, then of course the dominant colour is black. Black will stand out, so we've got a hierarchy that we've set up. Here we've got like a grey border running around here, red points down the side, then we've got a hierarchy. The red's going to stay out, it's going to intensify. Colour can represent or intimidate reality. Color can unify, separate, or emphasize. Color can decorate, and you can use color to be consistent as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can use color in your design. Shapes. Shapes are enclosed objects that can be created by a line or creating color or value changes that define an edge. So here we have a nice picture of a dolphin. In Fireworks, there are a number of different tools that you can use to create objects. Texture, I ran through a few different patterns that you could use. So texture can also be like a kind of pattern as well, so they can depict roughness, smoothness, or depth. We've got a few more graphic principles to go through. Graphic design principles are always in which elements are used together. So you've always got like balance, movement, emphasis, unity. I'm just going to go through now. So movement is used for lines, color, and repetition to create the illusion of motion. So curved forms of a line, repetition of a geometric shape or a form, fuzzy lines and outlines. So keeping that in mind, if we have a look at this particular slide here, we can see lines can indicate motion or direction. So how the lines are used in this composition. So having a look at this nice spiral line that we've got going underneath this swan. Yep, that's right. It's creating the effect of a rippling water. Okay, so balance is the act of comparing or estimating two things, one against another, and the contrast between them. So you've got empty space or white space as opposed to filled space. Text as opposed to images, color as opposed to non-colors or different colors, and textures against flat colors. Balance, there are three different types of balances which can be used. Color, shape, and composition. We've got symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial. We'll talk about those in just a second. So symmetrical or formal balance, you can usually identify at least one of three lines of symmetry: horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So in a symmetrical shape, you'll see here, you can cut this in half, and this would fold nicely on top of each other. And this one, the same thing, cut it here and it would fold nicely. So we have symmetrical balance. You'd see that the pencil can fold back on each other, and the butterfly is a fantastic example of symmetrical balance. Asymmetrical balance is basically uneven. An uneven balance. Here we have an eggplant that's quite thin up top, but quite thick down the bottom. It's an uneven balance. And the pencil here it's unevenly balanced as well. Have a couple more. We've got radial balance here. You can see you could draw a nice circle around these, and that's creating a nice radial balance for this particular logo. And here we've got radial balance being created by the bees circling this particular object. Unity, the correct balance of composition or color that produces a harmonious effect. So what is the focus message here? Yeah, it's the gears. That is the focus. Good. To emphasize or express a particular stressor force, what is the message here? Yeah, solar. Big circle. There. So basically, just to summarize in what I've just been going through very quickly, the basics of good graphic design is use of design elements and their thoughtful application in the form of design principles. Clearly identify what you're trying to accomplish using to convey your message. Brainstorm alternatives. So basically the secret to creating great designs is planning, and that's what we're going to go through right now.